Welcome to Beyond the Review, customer conversations about digital transformation success, presented by Raven Intelligence. I'm your host and the founder and CEO of Raven Intel, Bonnie Tinder. Well, welcome. I am joined today by Christine Miller, Head of Global Operations at Rizing HCM. Rizing is a premier SAP and SAP SuccessFactors consulting firm. They have over 2,500 successful projects around the globe that they've delivered in the last 15 years. Rizing is rated as a top partner by customers on Raven Intel, where you can read their over 40 reviews and view their service delivery metrics, which are outperforming both the SAP SuccessFactors ecosystem as well as their peers. So Christine, welcome. So glad to have you to talk to today.
Thanks, Bonnie. I think that's such a great welcome and an intro. I think for me, right, as global head of operations for Rizing, I think what we really want to focus on is kind of who Rizing is, right? And I think you nailed that right on the head. It's a large boutique SAP consulting firm under the Wipro umbrella. And with that, we're able to cover North America, EMEA, APAC, but we work exclusively with SAP solutions. So it's a real niche and expertise that you can come to know and love when you speak about Rizing. For me, really in my area of practice, I focus in the HCM area of Rizing, where we're really looking at, we have our subject matter expertise in SAP SuccessFactors, but also HR consulting. Many of our consultants have been in an HR role, including myself, right? So if I look back to the early days, I was an HR director using SuccessFactors, implementing it, going through exactly what our customers go through. And then when I made the switch into the consulting world and worked through our consulting practice, through our managed service practice, through our leadership practice and product development, it really gives myself, as well as a lot of our team members who've taken similar roads and pathways, a unique experience to say, I've been there with you. I've done this, and I've seen across, for me, all of the areas of our business to really kind of lead Rizing in the future years.
Yeah, that empathy is so important. And, we see customers actually remarking on that, really functional level expertise, having done the job before. As an HR professional, being in this space for so long in the HR tech space, what are some of the trends that you're seeing?
Yeah, I think many of them continue to be, right? And I think if you really highlight on kind of 2023 and where I see it, the trends continuing, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion is still going to be top of mind of everybody. I think the one thing that we all need to be cognizant of, right, is we're in a little bit of uncertain economic times, right? I think depending on where that is, and you really want to be sure that in those times that you continue to just keep pushing forward with great programs like your DE&I programs, and wrap that more into what you're seeing more in the kind of a people sustainability model, right? And how are we really engaging with our people? How are we going to bring kind of our care and concern for our people, and what's the effects that it has on the bottom line when you talk about employee retention, when you talk about employee engagement? What are we doing for their well-being? What are we doing for their development? How are we bringing them together, whether they're working remote or in the office, and really have a strategic initiative around that people sustainability area? Sometimes people will kind of pick and choose, but 2023 is really where you're seeing it kind of all come together, and this people sustainability really come to life in all aspects that are important. And then lastly, and I think it's always been there, but as systems and process and time evolves, analytics is really kind of critical to anybody's success. So when you're looking at, do you have a system? Do you have people that can analyze the data and really take that and make it actionable data for the business? And do you have a process in order to allow you to strategically move forward? So whether you're looking for a system or you're looking for people or you're looking for that process, analytics is going to be top of mind for any and every HR organization.
Yeah, and it makes you so able to adapt to change and plan for the future, with people. And I would say that I'm here at HR Unleash this week, and those themes were echoed throughout the conference as well. So I think those are top of mind, not only for SAP SuccessFactors customers, but the HR industry as a whole. So Rizing earlier this year announced Rising People in Pay. And that really has a lot of relevance, and we're seeing a lot of demand for that in the SuccessFactors marketplace. Could you talk a little bit about what that is and maybe the situations that customers are in that would make Rising People and Pay a good fit for these products?
Yeah, and thanks, Bonnie. I think that's great. I think where we should start is really when you look at Rising, there really is a vast amount of a variety of services, right? That we can meet the customers where they need it most, whether that's a net new implementation, full suite, they may be looking at S/4HANA and really bringing together their HR and platform all in one SAP landscape. They may have SuccessFactors and say, look, I need to do a health check. We haven't looked at what's been released recently. We've got new people on staff. Really, are we doing the best that we could be in this area? Or maybe they never implemented succession, right? And they're really kind of looking at in this people sustainability area, how do I bring that forward? How do I put a system in place that's going to give me that best data? Or they may go, look, I've been using the system for a while. I need some help on my support. Do I need a partner that's going to help me manage my system or help augment my staff, right, in a time of need? And I think when you look through all of those different solutions, a lot of customers come to us in that implementation space. And that's really where we have those initial conversations to say, how can we help you most? And this is where Rising People and Pay really comes into it, right? So Rising People and Pay is a pre-designed solution after working with all of our customers for years and years around, what do you really need to transform your business? What's going to help you out of the gate? And Rising People and Pay came to light for really a focus for the small to mid-market customers who sometimes, we tend to see them in the 1,000 to 10,000 employee range, maybe looking for a system or have a system that isn't just able to grow with them and expand with them as they grow into different territories or different lines of business. And they want a solution that they can get up and running quickly, which Rising People and Pay is. We've designed it based on really what SAP has come out and said are best practices for the solution, but what we've seen through years and years of HR consulting and SuccessFactors development to say, let us help you with that. We've made majority of decisions for you. So what you need to do is be able to bring the folks to the table that are going to be able to understand it, load in your relevant data, and use the system. You're not stuck in weeks and weeks of design and truly trying to figure out how the solution needs to work, because we're providing that best solution for you. So you can really focus on, how do I get my people in? How do I test the system? How do I ensure that I have time for change management to really ensure success and user adoption after the system, versus a lot of that early legwork, which, to be honest, customers really don't have the people in place today, right? We don't have the luxury of just having people available to dedicate every ounce of their being to do a full-on implementation in that smaller and mid-market space. So it really meets that organization, those types of organizations, kind of right where they need them, holds their hand to get them up and running, and use the benefits of SuccessFactors right from the gate.
That's great. And certainly it really helps serve that small to mid-market, which is underserved in terms of the, these large HCM systems. Now,
it comes with that, it comes with that price point too, right? Because it's pre-designed and we have the processes in place to say this is how it works. We can get to the meat of, here's what the system has. How does this fit with what you may need? And it allows them to have a price point for purchase, but also ongoing support and a shortened implementation time, right? Which all leads to quicker time to value, quicker ROI, and quicker able to focus on sort of other transformative areas that they need to look at.
That's great. In terms of global capabilities, Rising is all over the world. Could you explain a little bit about, the type of work that you do with customers that have a global footprint?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the strong suits that we have, right? A lot of customers really want to work with somebody that's local, but also understands the depth and breadth of where their business may go, right? Decisions may be centralized or maybe in a couple regions, but they want to have a system that they know can account for where they're at today, but where they're going to be in the future. And when we look at our solutions and we look at our, support model in North America, EMEA and APAC, we're covering a large portion of any market that a customer is going to come to us for. Particularly Rising People and Pay, right? SAP SuccessFactors out of the box supports, a large number of global organizations just from opening up the box, right? This is what's available for each country. From a pay perspective, there's 45 plus countries that are already with a starter configuration based on what the needs and local needs are of that pay structure. We then took that for 11 countries in our geography in North America, EMEA, and APAC, and we further enhanced that to really build out what we see customers want and need time and time again to build their business, so that in those 11 countries, you really are looking at, here's the design, how do we help, and how can we continue to help you expand on top of what SAP already provides.
Fantastic. As you look at and think about your customers, what are some of the things that you are doing to measure success with, number one, their success factors projects, but also, the impact that Rizing is having on their particular business? What are some of the things that you look at to say, hey, this is successful, or, we need to level this up?
Yeah, I think it should be part and parcel of what every really good consulting firm does, right? I mean, you're going in with the customer to partner and solve for their business challenge or their future needs, right? So it really starts with that transparent look at, what are we trying to accomplish together? Making and selecting a solution or a program, whether it be a Rising People or Pay solution that's going to enable quick ROI with a really great return on investment and transformative approach, or this is where we're at and we need help to understand, how do we get to a global solution? How do we get to a standardized approach? How do we get to, standardized but with a regional flair, right? And really setting those ground rules up front so that we select the best approach first, right? So that's number one. Success deals with, how do you partner together from day one to really build that solution? We measure that along the way. We're doing CSAT surveys and we're talking to our customers. We have delivery executives, our account executives, our project managers, active day in and day out. We have leadership and executive steering committees, right? So that touch, that personal feeling, that connection is throughout every one of our engagements. But also we really look at what those end results are. What did the customer achieve afterwards? What's the look back? If we talk to them 3-6 months in after they've gone live and they've gone through their change management initial program, go back in with them, because we're working with them on a long-term support arrangement, right? What are we seeing? Did we miss the mark anywhere? Being really transparent and honest about what has happened since. Are we getting the usage analytics that we thought? And having those conversations with the customers so we can continue down that lifelong partnership journey, which is what our goal is with any customer from a Rizing perspective. And we really look at, we look at things like, we said at the beginning, what customers are saying to outside sources. Are they referring other companies to come work with us, right? We have a huge referral business from our existing client base. What are they willing to say, right? Are we having fun together up on stage talking about the great things that we've been able to do and really show that true partnership and that connection that we've built with the customer? So it kind of starts from day one, really being that partner to set the stage and really help the organization select what works best for them. That transparent communication all along the way. And then that continued kind of analysis and look back and really trying to challenging both of us to say, did we accomplish what we wanted to and where do we go from here?
And the proof is on the pudding in terms of, the customer voice and, are they recommending Rizing to their peers? Certainly at Raven, at the end of projects, we see that very clear before and after picture in the reviews. And, you talked about transparency before. It's one of the things that really is impressive to me about what Rizing is doing is, sending all of your customers to do reviews of projects and really seeing very candidly that success and a very high degree of satisfaction is being had, which is great.
Absolutely.
On these projects and at Rizing, it is people who make all the difference. It's the team that gets assigned. It's the dynamics of the team, how everybody works together, how consistent and cohesive that group is. Could you talk a little bit about the people of Rizing, your consultants, the folks that you train and develop to be customer facing? What makes them unique to handle the needs of a SuccessFactors client?
Yeah, I think if we go back to sort of where I started, right? I mean, many of us who are in the consulting space started out just as the customer themselves. They've been in an HR part of the organization. They may be in an IT part of the organization running, their data, right? So they've been in the trenches. They understand. They have the empathy to really say, this is what I've seen. This is what I've done. This is how we can learn from each other, but also trust each other. And when that comes together and you really find a home in a consulting firm, right, you're looking for like-minded individuals. And I think that's what Rizing attracts, is really that like-minded HR consultant who wants to really work hard for their customer. We want to be creative, we want to be empathetic, but ultimately success is driven by how often do our customers keep coming back. And that's because if you look at our organization, the tenure in the ecosystem, right, either through Rizing or through SuccessFactors as a whole, continues to grow and grow. People work with people that they like. And the ecosystem of SAP SuccessFactors is a small one, right? It's a large product, but we have people that have come from other organizations. We have people that have worked with each other in different corporate organizations, and they can come together with a common bond of success factors, knowing the quality of the product, knowing their consulting space, and knowing that they're going to be able to pick up the phone anytime, and they're going to have a local and regional representative. But they also, at a Rizing level, have a global center of excellence that they can call upon at any time in every module to help them in a time of need, to give them best practice recommendations, to really continue to have development opportunities, to learn and grow and expand their skill set, as well as, for us, many of our consultants are deeply experienced in 1 to 2 modules, but they are cross-trained across many of them, so that when you're having those cohesive conversations, right, it's not, well, I don't really know that module, right? I know how to work together. We have solution architects on the project, and we really focus on, have we built the correct global design first, right? Have we focused where we need to, and then how do we make sure that all the business needs are met? But when we really look at it, right, I come to work every day for the people that are sitting alongside me, that are working with the customers, that are looking for how do we continue to enhance the SuccessFactors relationship with our customers, but also them as a human as well, right? I don't look at our customers as, oh, they're a client. These are part of our family. We want everyone to succeed, and each and every one of our consultants, I think, takes that mentality as well. Let's grow, let's learn, let's continue to work, let's work hard, but let's also celebrate our successes at the end.
So important. And, that relationship that you have with customers built on trust and empathy, as we even talked about in the beginning of this call, serves Rizing so well. The last question I have is what advice would you give to a SAP SuccessFactors client, or maybe a client that's looking at SAP SuccessFactors in the future? What are some of the things that they should be thinking about as it relates to the implementation of this product?
It's one of the things, right, when we work with people, I would say the first things first is really kind of do that look inside yourself. Really, what are you hoping to accomplish, right? Because all too often we have, when we meet clients for the first time or opportunities for the first time, they're looking at it from, what solution do I need? What system do I need, right? And the system isn't going to solve your business challenges. It's the tool that aids in solving those business challenges. But first, you need to look inside yourself. What type of solution do I need? Do I need it to be global or not? What abilities do I need it to have? How many people do I have available? Is this the right time to implement? What do I want to take on for support afterwards? And really create that story of who's going to be your best fit, right? Is there a solution? So once you know what you want to accomplish, then start looking at the system. And ideally, I think, obviously I'm biased to SAP SuccessFactors because that's really where we focus. But if that's the solution, once you design and you ensure that the solution fits the needs that are going to make you successful in that internal case study that you've done, then start focusing on the partner, right? So it's sort of a 3-step process. What do I need to solve? What solution is going to best get me there? And then what partner is going to help me be most successful? And in there, you're going to want to be able to connect with the people, right? Not just sales, solution center. You want to connect with the delivery folks. You want to do your homework. right? Do they have quality reviews? Do they have the credentials? Have they done what you're looking to do before? And then do they have the services to get you there, right? So you've got to like the people that you're going to work with. They've got to be credentialed to do what you need them to do. And then what type of solution do you need? Do you need a solution where we're going to design it based on what your needs are? Or do you want to go a Rising People or Pay solution that's going to help you realize that value quickly and meet your goals with that partner, right? Every partner will bring a different perspective to the table. So finding that niche that's going to start with that business solution, provide the system, provide the support, and ultimately help you go live successfully is the key.
For sure. And, we always say these, partners of SAP SuccessFactors, 80% of what everyone does is the same, and it'll get the job done. But it's that extra 20% and those nuances, the experience, the people, the product methodology, or the options that you can offer, the globalization. It's those 20%, unique traits that make a partner just the right fit for a client. So well stated. Thank you so much, Christine, for your insights here. And good luck to you as you move through the rest of this year with Rising People. Will be really exciting to see at Success Connect and some of the HR Connect conferences. Some of the impact that you're having with this new product area. So thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.